I like that little music. It's quite nice, isn't it?
It's not bad. You know what I mean? Vibes.
Big up, everybody. Welcome to Fozzy TV, no longer LRFC. So going forward, I'm going to start doing things like this, obviously talking to rival fans and see what they're saying about their football club. And yeah, new beginnings for me, man. I had that LRFC since 2019, to be fair, Sal. So it's not a new channel. It wasn't a new channel. The thing is with YouTube, it's just too many of the same things. So I thought if I change and do something else, maybe
you've individualized it, innit? You've made it more personal, which is better, innit?
It's my name, it's me. I'm just showing myself out there. See if I got football knowledge, in regards to talking about other teams and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll give it a try. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. My life continues as it says, isn't it? Yeah, bro. We're gonna obviously talk about Man United. I'm going to talk about the Premier League later on, about the recent games at the top and all that stuff. So talk about yourself, man. Like, how did you come about being a Man United fan? And let us know.
That's taking it back, man. I became a Man United fan way back, late 80s, before we were successful, by the way, subject to popular belief, before we were successful. My best friend was from Salford. He gave me this VHS tape, and I just watched it, and I just fell in love with the club. You know what I believe? I believe football teams choose you. You don't actually choose a football team. I think they choose you. And you don't have a choice in the matter. And been a Man United fan ever since. Ups and downs, lots of ups, but recently lots of downs as well. So I'm paying for it right now. So there you go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. With Man United, especially since Ferguson's left, how did you just fall from grace? That's what I don't understand. Like, how did you you was like the best team for years and years and years. How did it take one coach leaving for you guys just to fall from grace and making a lot of changes in managers and all that stuff? Because I want to know about that, because I've never asked a Man United fan that question before. And let the people know about how you could stay at the top, for so long and then just fall from there so dramatically after that. Because I think the last time you won a title was 2013, right? And that's not the Man United in recent years, especially I think was it 25 years before Ferguson came. I think you won the league 25 years earlier or something like that. So yeah, what's happened? How did it just all fall apart like that? Why didn't the previous manager put your team in such a good place? You could have still continued with the success.
Basically, it stems back all the way back to 2005 when the Glazers took charge of Manchester United, and the fact that Sir Alex Ferguson, from 2003 onwards, he was already building a new team that included Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney, etc., which went on to win the Champions League. So it was basically Sir Alex Ferguson's genius that kept us at the top. It was him, and he kept the structure of the football team the same. The problem is when Sir Alex Ferguson left the football club, we were left with the Glazers, and they have no knowledge of football at all. They were interested in is making money, and that was it at the end of the day. And none of them knew which direction to go. I mean, who to appoint, etc. We ended up appointing David Moyes, which was the wrong choice anyway. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it stemmed from there. David Moyes came into the football club, and he ripped out everything: the foundations, the assistant manager, the coaches, you name it. And he basically, I'll give you an example, a little story about it. David Moyes, in his first week at Man United, they were on tour.
Yeah.
And they went on the plane. David Moyes had his tie undone. He was sitting like this on the chair, like that, on the plane. And Rio Ferdinand walked onto the plane, and he said, and David Moyes goes to Rio Ferdinand, "Core, this is a big club, innit?" He was not ready for Man United at the end of the day. And the fact that he ripped out the foundation of the football club, showing Manchester United players, videotapes of Everton defending. You're talking about Vidic, Ferdinand, Evra. Yeah. These players just showing videotapes of Everton. This is how you do things, Everton.
Yeah.
These are Champions League winners and stuff like that. And then since then, it's been sort of a domino effect of bad decisions. We've gone so many different directions. We haven't had a clear plan. Like we've gone from David Moyes to Jose Mourinho to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Eric Ten Hag. They're all different styles of football. There's no philosophy. There's no plan. And this is testament to what the Glazers. This is like what typifies what the Glazers are, what they are in this football club. It's only like when you look at Barcelona and you look at Real Madrid, how they've continued success. It's their philosophy. It's their way or the highway.
Yeah, because Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid, he played 3 at the back at Leverkusen, didn't he? When he won all the trophies, now he's going to 4 at the back. You know what I mean? So it's the philosophy of Real Madrid. That's how it is. But carry on,
exactly. Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. And like La Masia at Barcelona, we just didn't have a plan, and we didn't plan. I mean, it could be argued that Alex Ferguson, he didn't really plan.
Yeah, the way he left an aging team. Yeah. What do you think about that when you're blaming him for that?
Yeah. So and it was a big say in regards to having David Moyes as the manager. Apparently, we were trying to go after Jurgen Klopp. You heard it on the interview. But obviously, this is exactly what Jurgen Klopp said. Jurgen Klopp said it there. It's perfect. It perfectly sums up Manchester United. They want to throw money at things. Look, we're going to get this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. But it's not. That's not what Man United are. And that's not the soul of what the football club is. And some managers want to see a football club, not a business. And I think that Man United were just we'd become a business. And that has been the problem.
Do you think the modern football has become a business? Because every club is the same nowadays. Like Man United, they think about even the fan base now. The fan base are accountants nowadays. You know what I mean? They talk about just business. They don't even talk about I'm here for football reasons, Sal. I'm not here for the financial. I don't do the bank accounts of Liverpool Football Club. I'm here just to watch football. Do you think there's too much of that around football nowadays? Because in the modern day, I don't think the people talk about football, as they should. If you know what I mean, as we grew up with as youngsters, we always used to think about football. We watch a game. When we finish watching a game, we go outside and play in the cage or play in the streets or something like that. That's what we used to do. But nowadays, like when I watch shows, it's all about the accountant, being an accountant rather than just talking about the football, just in general. And sometimes when I go in these football shows, like when they do the accounting, I'm just lost. I just be quiet and just sit there. You know what I mean? Do you think it's like that nowadays? Like more about a business than the passion of the game, like we used to see. And football's evolving as well. It's not the same as what it used to be either.
We're getting too robotic. We're getting too stat based. Too much in regards to the ins and outs of football that we didn't used to think about when we were watching Man United or watching Liverpool growing up. We were just thinking plainly football, Saturday, Wednesday. That's all we were thinking about. It wasn't about how much money we're making from this, the stats from this, etc. Do you know what I mean? I think we're trying to, football's becoming too robotic in regards to the players as well. I think it's becoming too stat driven, and we're like sort of building a footballer, so to speak, like that footballer has to be like that footballer. He's got this many stats. He's got this many stats. He's got, he has to be like that. He has to be that. And we're taking away the originality from football, in my opinion, just the originality. And as you said there, we all need accountant degrees nowadays to learn, to know about football, especially Man United. We got the Glazers. We're talking about, share prices. And I mean, if I knew about this, I would have done, took this up in college or university. Do you know what I mean? About being a broker or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But because we're having to learn it quickly. The share price of this. If Man United have 25% of this, and I'm like, for goodness sake, my goodness me. I don't care about the money. I care about what happens on the football pitch. At the end of the day, but everyone just seems like it's like their own money. It's like their money. They're spending their money. You can't do that. You can't spend that on that much on that player, etc. Do you know what I mean? And it resonates all the way down to the footballing side of things as well, because we're becoming too, I don't know, just too controlled. It's too controlled, and it's taken away the originality, in my opinion, from football.
Oh, it's sad. It's really, really sad because I've seen you guys like a few times finish second, and for some reason the squad got disrupted every single time when you try to build that momentum, to challenge for the league title. I remember when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in charge. I think he finished second in one season. He had a young team. I know like everybody doesn't like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the manager. It's fine. You have your own preference in life. But I thought he was working towards something, Sal, because when you finish second, and I said, shit, they're building something. I was worried. I was really worried about that. And then all of a sudden, next season, you start buying Ronaldos and all these guys. And I said, they're going to fall apart now. Because this is not the Ronaldo that left Man United. This is a different Ronaldo now. This is one of the greatest players that ever, existed in football now. That's come back, obviously, to Man United. And then all of a sudden, you fall apart, get battered by Liverpool and all that stuff. And then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer leaves. Like, what I'm trying to say is, Sal, each time you try to build something, it just falls apart. And then you get a new manager in. But when is that going to stop? You know what I mean? And have that trust in the manager, let him rebuild from scratch and just let him get on with it, that kind of thing. Because I honestly thought what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was building at the time was a young team that's willing to work hard together, obviously, and fight for every opportunity that you guys get, and then probably build towards the title, obviously, contenders eventually.
You know what it is, Fozzie? It's the thing is that when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took charge of the football club, it was a bounce. We had a record amount of wins, and it was really good. But we were playing one style of football, which is counter-attacking football, which suits the likes of Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, etc. He was just an interim manager at the time, and these players were playing for him. As soon as he signed that contract, these players down-tooled. And it's famous. We lost to Everton 4-0, and we lost to Watford, and we lost to different teams, and we started losing games. And this is the cultural problem at the football club, the player power at the football club, which drove Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the football club in the end. So I don't personally believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is tactically and good enough to manage Manchester United. I don't think he is, but he wasn't the problem. And the problem is upstairs, the cultural, the mentality issue at the football club. We've got it all wrong, and when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signed that contract, that was it. It was over for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because we kept losing. We didn't win any trophies. It could be argued it was COVID. He was in the COVID time. So there was this doubles down on the fact that these players aren't really good mentally because they played well in an empty stadium, and they were very good at home for some reason and away from home, to be honest with you. So it was exciting at first. We had songs, we were singing, everything. Love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a player, but he was just not strong enough to be a Man United manager. It's not even about tactics. It's about being strong. It's about being ruthless, especially with the likes of Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, Diego Dalot, all these players that, are serial down toolers when the going gets tough, and you need to really put your foot down, which is Ruben Amorim is doing right now, as he did with Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho and Anthony and players like that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just didn't have that. He just didn't have that ruthlessness about him. And it's a bit like his career. He was always on the bench. He never had a problem with it. Even though he would come off the bench and he would score 4 goals, he would be on the bench the next game. You know what I mean? And he never had a problem with it. Maybe that's his personality. Maybe he just doesn't like confrontation. But this Man United team, squad, culture, that is not just about the players. It's about the overall structure of the football club. Anyone who comes into this football club gets that disease, so to speak, where they start down tooling and, blame culture, etc., etc. So he was victim of that. He was a victim of that, unfortunately. And it's happened not only to him, it's happened to various other managers as well.
Yeah, spot on, bro. Spot on. So moving forward, obviously, to Amorim now. You've got this, obviously, you still got the similar players that you had last season. Not many, obviously, apart from the strikers that you brought in. What do you think? What do you think of this? Obviously, Amorim's system and the way you're moving forward. Is there a progression to this, or are you still having that doubts, like something might go wrong or something like that? Because it could potentially happen. I mean, with Man United, you get 1 loss and then it becomes 2, then it becomes like that. 3. And what do you think of this Amorim guy, like as a head coach?
I think he's a really good coach. I like him. I like the way he's open. I like the way he's honest. For me, tactics.
Do you think he's too honest at times? Do you think he's too honest at times? The way in his
sometimes. But I'd rather have a manager like that than a manager just spits a load of cliches every single press conference. Do you know what I mean? And talks a load of nonsense. And at least you can understand and relate to what Ruben Amorim is going through, because he's going through a lot. To be honest with you, the amount of off-field issues he's had to deal with since he walked into the football club is astronomical, and we only know half of it. In regards to the tactics and formation, I was raised on 4-4-2, 4-4-2, 4-3-3, 4-5-1. I was raised on those sort of formations. So It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't, because great players can play in any formations, and it's worked wherever he's been, whether it be Braga, whether it be Sporting Lisbon, it's worked. And I feel like we need the players for it. We definitely need the players. We don't have the players for it. And as Ronaldo said the other day on Piers Morgan, he said that, we're expecting miracles from Ruben Amorim at the moment, because many of those players are still there. Just to think that Luke Shaw's been there since 2014, and he's still playing in Man United's first team. And this leadership group that they call it, leaders of what? Leaders of losing. That's what their leaders are, because they've got no experience of challenging for league titles, no experience of playing in the Champions League consistently. And I feel like this is the thing. This is a cultural thing again, a mentality thing again, that Ruben Amorim is trying to change. He can't do it all at once.
Can he do it? Do you think? Has he got the strength to do it? Like, listen, the greatest managers have failed at Man United, like Van Gaal, Mourinho, etc. Ten Hag. Do you think he'll be? Because he's young, and don't forget this. This is what I said when he first came along. I said, in order for him to succeed, Sal, I didn't want to give it away because he might not at the end of the day, but in order for him to succeed, I said, first of all, everything has to come together. The fan base, the ownership, and everything else around it, because the club is too big for him. That's what I said. And not only that, the formation that he plays is something Liverpool used to play, you remember? And the Roy Evans, three at the back, Neil Ruddock, John Scales, Phil Babb, Stig Inge, Bjornaby, Jason McAteer. That's what we used to play. It's not a formation that's championship winning in the Premier League. As you've seen, there's only one team that's won 3 at the back in the Premier League, and that's Chelsea with Conte. Remember, next season got sacked a few months later because everybody found it out. So that's what I said. Like, is his age first of all, and the club, how big it is. He needs to galvanize everyone together in order for it to work. Do you think it's gonna happen? It's happening now, but do you think it's gonna continue with this, or is it going to fall apart eventually from what you can see? Because, sometimes with football fans, we can see, in the distance, when you watch a manager and head coach, how they perform. What do you think about that?
Look, what I would say is that I was around when Sir Alex Ferguson walked into the football club, and everyone was doubting Alex Ferguson. Everyone said sack Alex Ferguson because everything was new, everything was different.
FA Cup saved him. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and seasoned players like Paul McGrath were shipped out, and Gordon Strachan was shipped out. And, people wanted his head on a platter until 1990 when we won the FA Cup against Crystal Palace, So what I would say is that everything is different. We can't paint everything with the same brush. We have to, why not create our own history? Why not be the pioneers of that formation? Other teams have played it. Obviously, AC Milan played it back in the day. The European teams played it quite a lot. Obviously, back in the day, England played it in 1998 with Glenn Hoddle, of course. But this is kind of a different kind of 3-4-3 sort of thing. Yeah. It's 4 attacking players in the midfield, So it's 2 wingers and a back 3, So it's not like, for example, Graham Lasso. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's more like you have Ahmad, who is a winger on the right, and you'll have a winger on the left, and that is what he's trying to do, which we don't have at the moment. Obviously, we have Dorgu on the left, who's more like a left back rather than a wing back, so to speak. So, what I would say is that I think it will work. I've seen it work. I've seen characteristics of it working. I've seen it. It's just Man United have a mentality problem, just like the game against Tottenham the other day. They go missing for 30 minutes of a game, which is suicide. They did it against Nottingham Forest. They did it against Spurs, right? So it's almost identical. 1-0 up at halftime, 2-1 down within minutes. And this shows you that it's not a tactical problem; it's a mental problem. And after they go 2-1 down, they start playing. So there you go. So I think the formation thing is overrated. It does convert into a 4-4-2 sometimes. It does go into a 4-3-3 sometimes. It transcends. We just don't have the IQ of the players to play it. But when we do get the IQ sorted out, I think it's going to be a really good formation going forward. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to flip-flop from it. I said it on my channel that, I've never been a fan of the 3 at the back. I've never been that guy. But at the end of the day, I trust Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim's speaking with chest about it. He knows it's going to work. He's speaking like it's going to work. And I've seen characteristics of it working. I've seen us win massive games with it. You know, you're talking about Arsenal away with 10 men. You know,
Yeah,
we beat Arsenal after extra time with 10 men. We beat Man City away. Obviously, we beat Liverpool away. You know, we've had some massive results. Beat Chelsea and Sunderland this year and Brighton. You know, you've seen it working, but you've also seen the flip side of the Brentford and the Man City game this season, and you've seen the flip side of it. And that for me is not the formation. That for me is the characteristics, the people, the players in the team. You know, and I think it's getting better. I think, look, we've done everything. We sacked managers. Who else are we going to bring in?
There ain't no
You know
more.
what I mean? There's no one out there. Like, we've got a great young manager. Let's believe in him, just like Arsenal believed in Arteta, and he still hasn't won anything, by the way. But just like they believed in Arteta, we need to believe in this and give it a little bit of time. The good thing about Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, they backed him fully. They backed him, and they said if the players don't get in line, you're going to be out the door. So I like that, you know. So it tells those players that they can't down tool, because there are players that down tool. Like, you know, for example, mistakes is our issue. We make a lot of mistakes.
For a long time, actually, for a long time. You know what it is? When a team is in that rut, it stays for a long time. As you guys know from experience before Ferguson, when you're in that rut, it takes a long time to recover from that. Sometimes in football, what I realized now is you got to reset. And I think that's what you guys did. You reset. You know what I mean? You finally got a head coach in that you guys are going to back, and you got the long-term vision for. And that's the thing that's going to, you know, make you strive towards glory at the end of the day, because all this chopping and changing doesn't really help anything. You know what I mean? It's just you're just gonna restart. It's just another 5-year plan every single time, if you know what I mean. And it gets to the point like you just say, was it really worth it anymore? But yeah, I think he's finally found something at the moment with you guys. I think it's a 5-game run now, undefeated. I'm sure it's something like that. So you've already got the base for this season. You're 7th in the league, as you can see there on the table. Do you think like you can finish in the top 4 with this team this season? The way the Premier League is going anyway, nobody knows who's going to finish where. Look, Sunderland is there. You know what I mean? Chelsea 3rd, man. You know what I mean? So it shows like anyone can go in that top 4 this season.
Absolutely. Look, what I would say, Foz, is that anything is possible in this league at the moment. You're looking at, was it 4 or 5 points from 10th to 2nd? Something like that. It's ridiculous. So it is a perfect opportunity for anyone in the league if they want it. If they can pull up a few games and win a few games, you could be right up there. 1 minute you could be 10th, the next minute you could be 3rd or 2nd. Yeah. I mean, that's this league for you, you know, at the end of the day. You know, I feel like Man United, the opening 10 games, 40% of the games were from the top 4 teams. We had a difficult start to the season. We played Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal in the first game of the season. We've already played, obviously, Sunderland, who's 2nd at 4th at the moment. I think they are. We've already played those teams. We've had a very difficult start to the season, and even Brentford away, we know that's difficult. You know that's difficult. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is that now after the international break, we're going to have a few games that we're capable of winning, and that for me is going to be the test for Man United, because we all know Man United can turn up against the big boys. We know they can, and we beat Brighton, fair enough, all right. But going on a consistent run, playing the likes of Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, Wolves, Leeds, those teams there, you know, which are the games that traditionally in recent memory we come unstuck. We've lost points in. It's not the Liverpools. Yeah, we lose to Liverpool sometimes. We get smacked up sometimes. That happens in football. But the thing is, we're good at playing Man City and Liverpool and that in general, and Arsenal and teams like that. It's those games right there for me that are going to really show me where Man United are, because it's the mentality in those games. The lights ain't on those games. You know, the crowd ain't on that game. They ain't watching those games. Will these players switch off? And that's what I'm worried about. You know, so it's up to them to prove me wrong. In regards to the league, you know, I think that anyone can come in that top 5 this season. Yeah. I honestly do. I honestly think there will be a shock. Maybe Sunderland in a false position at the moment. I don't want to be unfair on them. I did predict they'll have a good season. I thought Xhaka would be one of the signings of the season, and he's proved to be. And I think that, you know, if you go on about a 3-game winning run, 4-game winning run, anything is possible, man. And look, I'm a Man United fan. You know, even at our worst, I'm not going to say we're not going to get anywhere. I even feel embarrassed saying that we're going to come top 5. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys, because honest stuff, Ozzy, because I come from a generation where I was crying when we came 2nd. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit, it's a little bit hard, but we have to start somewhere. And if we get in that top 5, I think Man United can progress from there, and Ruben Amorim, and attract more players to the club.
It's always a base. You always need a base, to start from, and then just build up on that. I've always said that. It's when you get out of that stuff and want success too quickly, that's when you lose focus of what you strive towards. If you know what I mean, yeah. But I like it. I obviously I'm not a Man United fan, but I like the way things are looking at the moment, and I think you've got a chance of finishing top 4 the way the Premier League looks. You're 7th now. We're 8th. That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But about the Tottenham game, you finished 2-2. Do you think you deserve to win that game in the full 90 minutes, or was Tottenham robbed at the end? Because this obviously scored in the last minute or last second of the game with De Ligt. Because when I was watching the game, the early kickoffs are horrendous, as you know already. 12:30 kickoffs is not something you're gonna wake up for. The games are mostly boring, but 2-2 it looks quite it looks like from the outside it looks like a good game. But did you deserve to draw that game, or did you deserve to win that game? When you look at it,
if the game finished at half time, we did have to win that game, but it doesn't, unfortunately. In the second half, we were dominated. Tottenham should have won the game in the end, because we sat back. As I said, we go on these 20-30 minute spells in games where we just let the team back, let them play. We throw everything out the window, and that's the thing, and it takes two quick fire goals from Tottenham to fire us up again, revamp us up again. It's ridiculous sometimes, and we can't put our finger on it. We can't, we don't know what goes on. And then you look at, but Ruben Amorim's making changes, he's making the wrong changes.
Yeah, I heard that after the game. Yeah,
these players are being dominated. They were going to concede a goal. If it wasn't for Senny Lamens, Tottenham would have had a couple of goals before the 2 goals. If it wasn't for Senny Lamens. So we were being dominated. So he had to do something. It's not his fault that the players that we bring on are not of a certain standard that they can come into the game and are ready for the game. You know what I mean? So you saw it there. It's a perfect example to know where Man United are. We concede 2 goals, and then we better start playing now. And then we start playing well with 10 men, and we equalize with 10 men. You know what I mean? And could have won the game in the end. Benjamin Sesko had a couple of chances. And it's hard to put your foot on it, finger on it. But I mean, in the end, it deserved to probably 2-2 is a good score. Yeah. It's a decent score. Actually, one person in my stream actually wrote it down in ChatGPT before the game, and it said it's going to be 2-2. Funny enough, it was weird. But it's. I think in the end, looking at the whole game, it should have been a draw. It was a draw, and we were lucky. I feel like the way we're playing at the moment, it's not sustainable.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, sorry. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, sorry. I don't think it's sustainable. We're relying on magic moments and last-minute goals. I think this needs to change. We need to find an element of control in the games. We have it in patches, but we don't have it fully for 90 minutes, and that's the problem at the moment. This is why I think it deserved to be a draw in the end.
Okay. Yeah, that's Man United in a nutshell. Obviously, we discussed that the beginnings from Ferguson era to now. I want to talk about the Premier League. What do you think of the way it's going? Obviously, this season, especially Arsenal being top, and are they the ones? Are they the ones that's going to be champions this season? Do you think? And your hearts, like the way they're performing.
You know what I'm going to say? Yeah, I think that Arsenal going to be their own worst enemy. I think that so? when someone puts a little bit of pressure on them, that's when they're going to be taken. At the moment, no one's putting any pressure on them.
It's only 11 games this season, isn't it?
They're not playing vintage football. We know Arsenal from back in the 90s. We know proper Arsenal teams, you know what I mean, who played proper football. You know what I mean? This Arsenal team is not, this is a George Graham Arsenal team. You know what I mean? 1-0 to the Arsenal. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like Arsenal, I can't make a judgment until it's January, February, March, April, and I'm seeing Man City hot on their heels or another club hot on their heels. It's too early to say. Will they crumble again? That's the thing, isn't it? And it's mentality at the end of the day. And I do see some weaknesses in Arsenal. I do. I think they're fantastic defensive side, but Sunderland exposed a few weaknesses. And I feel like that can. Other teams can look at that and say, well, you know what I mean? And Man United should have beat them, to be honest with you. We had a dodgy decision from a foul on buying there. It should have been a foul, and we should at least got a draw, maybe won the game. And feel like they've been a little bit lucky. I don't think they've been fantastic. Liverpool beat them as well.
Do you think is it early season syndrome? Like they're doing this because I've seen this with Arsenal before, celebrating like they won the league already in about the first 5 games. I remember Tottenham away last season. They beat Tottenham 1-0 or something, and they were celebrating they won the title already. Do you think it's an early season thing? Because as the season goes along, Sal, I don't think people realize it gets more difficult because every team is gonna have to find their way in the league. Are they gonna finish it? Obviously, above the relegation zone? Are they going to finish, in a certain position to get more money? Are they going to be finishing the Conference League, Europa League, Champions League spots? That everybody's going to have that time when they're going to make it difficult for other teams to, play against them. Do you think it's just an early season thing? And then, because I judge the league within the first 15 to 16 games of the season, and then, it balances itself out eventually when it gets to 20, and then, the title race continues from there. What do you think? Is it? I honestly think it's an early season thing so far.
Well, through experience watching football for so long, I mean, 1999 when we won the treble, Aston Villa were the best team for half the season. They were top of the league, and then you look at 2008 when we won the Champions League and league title, we were nowhere near halfway through the season. So we've lost league titles with eight points clear with a month to go. We've won league titles 12 points behind in January. So at the end of the day, it all depends on the Arsenal and whether they can keep consistent. Yeah, and I believe anything is possible. Anything can happen in football. I've seen great teams fold, and lose leads like out of nowhere when no one is expecting it.
Yeah.
Personally, I think if Man City carry on their way they're going and they put a little bit of pressure on Arsenal, I think that is when Arsenal are going to be tested.
Yeah,
I've still got a little bit in my back of my mind. Man United going a little bit of a run. We've got some good games coming up after the international break. So let's see if Man United win 5 in a row. You never know. I'm always going to have that little bit of positivity there.
You're a Man United fan. This we expecting it really. Like if you're a Liverpool fan, Man United fan, even in your bad times, you're still gonna think like you're gonna do something in it. So
yeah, you never know.
Is it not DNA?
You never know when the cream rises to the top, isn't it? Yeah. That's the thing. At the end of the day. But what I would say is that I don't trust Arsenal. I wouldn't put my money or mortgage on Arsenal winning the league. I think they look the most solid team, I would say. Pragmatic.
But how long can you sustain that? That's the thing. So, you know what I mean? Like you could do that, but that's why I keep telling people, like, teams get smarter in the Premier League. They don't get dumber. You know what I mean? So if you look at Liverpool, for example, sorry to go to Liverpool, but last season we won the league, right, by 10 points, but it could have been more if we put the foot in, to the metal. But we chose not to. So the mentality of Arne Slot was, since we battered everybody in the league last season, we're gonna come back this season. I'm gonna buy more firepower, and we're gonna transition as we're playing this season. He went with that mentality. He failed dramatically. I mean, as you can see. And with Arsenal, obviously they have a different kind of tactics, which is set pieces and keeping clean sheets and all that stuff. But is that sustainable? That's what I'm saying, because sometimes teams get smarter. They studied you, they analyze what's your strength and weaknesses, and like you just said about Sunderland, they do things like that against you. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't trust Arsenal enough this season for them to maintain that. If you know what I mean. So hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying, because I think sometimes people don't understand. Teams are not stupid. They will get smarter. What happened to Liverpool this season is because every other team measured themselves against Liverpool because you're the best team in the league, and then they caught up with us, and now look what's happening to Liverpool. Same thing can happen to Arsenal with this formation they're playing, because it's the same thing every time they're doing so. There's no difference. Like you just said, they're not nice to watch, but they're effective in a certain way. But that runs out eventually, that luck, if you know what I mean.
The thing is, one thing that is so underrated in football is just basic football is working hard, and for to maintain success, you need to work hard. At the moment, I just feel like it's too tactical in regards to the way things are going. Players are like told not to go out of that little square, you know what I mean, and things like that. I just
Don't
feel
shoot
like
from outside the box. Don't shoot and all that stuff.
don't shoot, yeah, do this, do that. And I think it's too tactical. I think hard work has been taken out of the ground. I mean, I had a season ticket for 8 years at Man United until I had to move away. I used to see players coming off the pitch, throwing up, you know, because how hard they worked on the pitch, and it was just pure hard work. It was less tactical under Alex Ferguson. It was more hard work. Yeah, we had tactics, a 4-4-2, a 4-3-3, whatever we had, but that was what it was, you know. But in regards to Liverpool, what Jurgen Klopp did so well, and it's exactly why he rejected Man United, because he went into the Galacticos kind of way, you know. And I think that Liverpool have gone that Galacticos sort of way, and they didn't need to do that. I mean, when you look at Szoboszlai, players like that, Ruiz, who were unknown relatively, and they came into Liverpool and done fantastically well. And I don't know if you see that Ruiz go the other day for Bayern Munich, isn't it? Yeah. And I feel like what Liverpool have done is you've gone away from what Jurgen Klopp,
the principles
he's all about, which was getting the 100 and 150 million pound players. It's not that they're bad players. It's just that money just puts so much pressure on those players, you know. And I'm looking at Wirtz, and I feel like Wirtz is playing in sand. You know, it's like he's got so much pressure on him. And the same with Isaac. You know, these are not bad players. You know, it's just that. And this is why Man United are stepping away from the Falcaos and the Schweinsteigers and the Ronaldos. They've gone for more Embuemos and Cunhas, you know, and we're linked to other Angel Gomez and João Gomez and players like that we're linked to at the moment. I just feel like you can overcook it sometimes. I think Liverpool have overcooked it a little bit. I know you lost a few players. I know there's tragedy happened at Liverpool. I know what happened with that. Obviously, that must be incredibly difficult at the team as well. And I would say that I just feel like there were too many new faces, you know, in that team. And I feel like they don't really understand what Liverpool are about in regards to, especially now when what happened in the summer. You know, it's very difficult to get new faces in there. I mean, I don't know if a striker was planned at Liverpool. You know, was it even planned? And that's the thing, you know, bringing Isaac in, he's got an ego, who's got swag about him and stuff. And will he fit into the squad? Do you know what I mean? Look, it's gonna take time, man. It's gonna take time, but you know, I feel like what Liverpool need to do, they've gone down that direction now, where they have to start again. Like maybe
what would you have done if you was the head coach, like, and they spent that much money with those players? Would you like put them in straight away in the first team, or would you slowly put them in? Because you still have the core players, obviously. Sorry, we moved from Arsenal to Liverpool. We're talking about every team, innit? We still have the core players of, you know, that championship winning team. Because what I said, and I remember I was with you on Judge Most channel. I said it in the summer when they asked me about, you know, the new players and all that stuff. I said, because Isak should play anyway. He's at that age, hitting his prime. He should be obviously producing as soon as he starts. But I thought, like, with the likes of Kerkez and Katike and Frimpong and Wirtz, I thought like something like that should be slowly integrated with the team, instead of like pushing them out there straight away, if you know what I mean. Because, you know, these things happen as soon as you push players into especially the championship, you know, a championship winning team. The pressure is already on. You're already buying them for a lot of money, and you already got pressure of, if I, you know, get into this team, I can't make mistakes because they've already won the league, you know what I mean? And that's what happened. Like, this is what I say. If you was 25, 26, you're fine, because you've got the experience in life, and you're gonna obviously play at the best of your abilities. Same as what happened to De Bruyne when he left and come back. I think came back 25. Salah left, came back 25. And, you know, the rest, you know, they're the best players in the Premier League history, if you know what I mean. They're one of the best players in the Premier League history. That's the age, you know what I mean, 25 and above. But when you're 21, 22, you're leaving a massive league like the German league, and you're coming to the Premier League, and and the players are right on top of you. The fans are right on top of you that you've never experienced before. This is the thing you're gonna get. You know what I mean? And what I said was slowly integrate them with the team, in and out kind of thing. until they find their way, into the team. That's what I said. That's a proper head coach. That's what they would do. But we didn't do that, bro. We just pressured them and put them straight into the pitch and thinking like, oh, go and fix it, on the pitch and win games. Can't do that, Sal. You can't do things like that.
You
Now
can't.
you look at Wirtz. He's struggling badly, man. And you look at Kirkes. As soon as he came on, I think he made a mistake straight away. Like, gave the ball away. The pressure at the top is heavy on some players, and if you push them so quick, this is the performances you're going to get. But do you agree? Like, they should have been slowly integrated. If you was the head coach, what would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the team. Obviously, Kirk has played for Bournemouth, and he's an experienced player in the Premier League, and that which is precisely why Man United are buying Premier League proven players. Yeah. It's exactly like the same with Benjamin Sesko. I know he's on not as much as them, but he's a proven, well-known striker coming from the Bundesliga. There was a situation against Tottenham where he had a chance one-on-one, and he took his time, second guessing. Where shall I put it? Shall I place it? It's difference between the Premier League and the Bundesliga. You don't get a second chance to think. Mm. You got to hit it, and you got to hope it goes in, because that is the Premier League. And the Premier League, like, it takes time to get up to speed. You know what? In a year's time, we'll be laughing at this, because probably Florian Wirtz might be killing it. You know what I mean? And you'd be like, how did we even doubt him? You look at players at Arsenal. The same thing happened at Arsenal. It took them time to get used to the environment in the Premier League. And this is the thing. The Premier League is ruthless, and you have to take your time with young players. You have to be careful as well, because you can completely ruin them. And funny enough, I think Liverpool purchased players to play a free at the back, by the way. But anyway, just, they're Frimpong and Kirkes. It might work. You know what I mean? And stuff. But yeah, look, I just feel like, you're absolutely right. I think that you need to slowly integrate them into the team. I do believe that Salah is an absolute legend, one of the Premier League greats, should have been a Ballon d'Or winner. But I feel like slowly but surely you need to think about the future and move him on. It's a bit like Man United and Bruno. In a lesser extent, you need to slowly take him out of the team, start blending Ekitike into that team and flirt Wirtz in that team, and build a team around them, a new generation. You know what I mean? But it takes time. It will take time. And it might not be this season. It might be next season that it all clicks, and you'll know when it clicks. But you do have to be careful with young players. We forget these players are young. Sesko's 22. Wirtz is very young as well. He's never played in any, and he's probably never lived in another country in his life. And he's coming to Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And then you got obviously Ekitike as well, coming from the Bundesliga. Yeah. It's going to be so. Kirkes going from Bournemouth to Liverpool is a big jump as well. It's a different animal, this Premier League, and you have to be very careful not to ruin the players completely. We all know what happened with Rasmus Højlund at Man United and players like that who are highly rated, but once the negativity spirals out of control, you can't get it back, especially as an attacking player. And I feel like Liverpool need to just be calm. Obviously, I do think they're missing a few things in their team defensively, especially in the fullbacks. They're still relying on obviously Robinson, of course. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is a big miss. I know a lot of people don't think so, but I think it's a big miss.
Oh, he is.
Him and Salah used to have that relationship on the right hand side, where he would get the ball over the top for Mohamed Salah to do his thing. And I feel like a lot of it's going to take time to get the chemistry going again. In my opinion. It's not easy, the Premier League. It's definitely not, and every team these days has good players as well. Every team has got money, and that's the problem.
They get smarter every season. That's what people forget. They get smarter every season, man. Like, and I don't think Arne Slot has expected that. You know what I'm saying? He thought it was like the Dutch league. Like, you win the league and by a counter, and then you come back next season, it's going to be the same. No, it's not. It doesn't matter if you buy like players for $500 million. It's still going to be difficult for you to retain it, because teams don't give you Premier League. You have to earn the right to win the Premier League, and you got to work hard to win the Premier League. You don't go to Man City and play like that, like let Man City dominate you. What do you think of that game yesterday, by the way, like when you was watching it? Because I realized in the first 5 minutes we wasn't even at it. I saw Konate giving the ball away. I saw Gravenberch giving the ball away, and I said, you know what, guys, on the watch along, it's going to be a long day today. What did you think? Did you watch the game at all?
Yeah, I watched the game. what I felt about Liverpool is that when they go forward, they're good to an extent, but it's the final ball is a little bit of a problem. They've been having that for a while.
Yeah.
Defensively, though, you were open every time Man City attacked. You looked like you were going to concede a goal. I think Doku had an amazing game yesterday for Man City. It was incredible. Funny enough, people say about Doku, they say that he only plays good against players over 30, but he's playing against he's playing against Bradley yesterday, so they've changed that narrative. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like Liverpool a little bit unlucky. I think football is measured by fine margins and decisions.
Yeah.
You know, that goal is allowed for Van Dijk. Who knows what would have happened? The momentum being Liverpool's favour, 1-1 at half time. You go in, you regroup. You never know what can happen. Football's such a funny game like that. And, you know, I feel like it's a bit like when England scored that goal against Germany, which never was in the 2010 World Cup. And they went in, instead of going in at halftime, Boyd, you go in at halftime like, oh, that should have been a goal, you know, bloody referee, this and that, you know. And I think that is what happened. I think mentally it hit Liverpool a little bit. But the first goal was a fluke for Man City. The header from Haaland, it came off Konate and it went onto his head, and looped into the goal. Yeah, I mean, and that's what happened.
It was. I could explain to you about that goal. Do you know, like it started in their own corner flag, and then 20 passes later, it went to Nunes, and Nunes had time to look up and put it on Haaland's head. So where is the actual aggressive side of the game? That's what pissed me off yesterday. I don't think if you look at Man City, Sal, and you look at Liverpool, Man City is always on us like a rash throughout the game. And then you look at Liverpool, we give them space, we give them time, they did whatever they wanted to do. That's why we lost that game yesterday. It was lack of work rate, it was lack of, you know, communication and chemistry on the pitch. It just did not, like, how can 20 passes get you to the right wing, and then the fullback, who's not even a fullback, have time to look up and cross it in? So I don't understand, like, and then you look at Liverpool, each time we put the ball in the wings, Salah can't even get it past the player. And, you know, the same for Wirtz as well on the other side. Why is the work rate different like that? I don't understand that. That's what pissed me off. 20 passes it took them, Sal, to score that goal. 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, I'll be honest, Fonzie. I'll be honest, bro. What I would say is that Jurgen Klopp was a huge personality. Completely different person to what Arne Slot is. I think Arne Slot's a little bit arrogant, whereas Jurgen Klopp was a people's person, much more of a people's person. I think he warmed well to a lot of those players in the squad, i.e. Van Dijk and Salah, these players. And they treated him like a fan. As you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold was crying when Jurgen Klopp left. You know what I mean? It was that important to Liverpool. And, you know, I just feel like the whole atmosphere has changed at Liverpool this season. I don't know what it is. And you said about the 20-odd passes. That's exactly what it is. Like, Liverpool would be, you know, defending together, pressing together last season. Or you know,
that's what
this season, then it just looked like, oh, go and then just attack us. Do you know what I mean? I even look at the match against Man United, and you know, that cross from Bruno was a fantastic cross, but Maguire was just there just to nod it in. Like, no one there to, you know what I mean? It was, and I just feel like they're not together. I feel like I can tell by body language. I can tell by Van Dijk. He's not happy. Something's going on.
Something's going on with Van Dijk, 100%.
He looks a completely different player this season. And I just feel like, obviously, luck plays a part. There was a deflected shot as well, obviously, from Man City. There was that goal from Haaland that came off Konate and onto Haaland. The goal that should have been against Van Dijk, of course. You know, I don't know why that was disallowed, by the way. I'm a Man United fan. I don't think that should have been disallowed. Goalkeeper was following it all the way. He knew it. It didn't disrupt him at all. It was going in the back of the net anyway. But I just feel like it's just about luck. And when you have against these teams like Man City, we had it as well. We lost 3-0 to Man City as well. You know, it's hard to come back from when you go 1-0 down, 2-0 down. It's very difficult. But
one thing, like,
Liverpool not the same team this season. Definitely not the same team this season as they have been last season. It's going to take something. I want to ask you a question, Fozzie. Like, how long would you give Arne Slot if this carries on? You know, how long would you give him to? I mean, his win record now, was he lost how much? 6 out of 7 or something like that?
I think in the year, is it 40% or something? He's lost more games than Man United, I think, in the calendar year. That's what I've heard. I don't know about
he's not drawn any.
It's with me, so it's much like yourself. I'm the older fans, isn't it? The modern day fans don't understand me. I'm an older fan. Like, we're different. We don't pressure people to get out, especially when they did good for you. It will take you time to, say enough is enough. I haven't. With me, I've given up on the season. I don't think we're going to win the Premier League this season at all. The way come on, man, it's 11 games, 5 losses.
It's difficult to win it
Yeah,
back to back now.
It's too much. But as you asked the question, like, how long would I give him? If I don't see any progressions in the next, 5 games, I think he has to go, because you can't spend that much money, Sal, and then results like that. We're not even in the top 4 anymore, guys. We're 8th. We're 8th, man.
Yeah, it's still early days, though. It's still early days.
I know it's early days, but
it's still early days.
I
think what Liverpool need to do to convert those losses into draws. You draw no games.
Maybe we could have got more points, on the board.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with him, Sal, I observe things, and I look at the tactics and all that stuff. Now everybody's using what I said in the beginning of the season. I don't know what our tactics are. So I don't know if we're a transitioning team. I don't even know if we're an attacking team. I don't even know if we're a defensive team. I don't know what we are. When you look at an identity of a club, like, what you are. I don't know what Liverpool are. When you don't know that, and it keeps going again and again and again, that's when you think to yourself, these players are not playing for this guy. I don't think anyone is crying on the pitch anymore. So
no, this is
even last season, we won we won games by the odd goal, Sal. We did not convincingly win games. Like, you remember the good old 3-0 wins at Anfield back in the day, like Old Trafford 3-0 wins? That doesn't exist anymore, bro. We're scraping out results. You know what I mean? We're winning by 1 goal to 2-1, something like that. Sometimes like 3-2. And I'm thinking to myself, bro, like this, when are we gonna be like beating teams without considering a goal? I mean, so we don't have that momentum in our football club anymore. And with him, like, with the lack of identity, it's clearly showing, and that's the worrying part when I'm watching Liverpool. So yeah, I'd say like 5 more games. If it doesn't work out, it's time to go, man. Because I just want to see pattern of play. I want to see style that we have. That I kept on hearing about the Arne Slot, ball. Where is it? I haven't seen it since he's been here. He used Jurgen's team last season. He didn't change much of it. This season is his team. He's got worse.
That's the thing, Mark Fozzie. I said this last season. He only had to press play when he came in at the beginning of last season. And I think a lot of managers would have came in and done pretty well at that Liverpool team. You forget that Liverpool team have already won the Championship, already won the Champions League. Many of those players, the tactics go out the window when there's no effort. There's no effort in the team, and you can see that on the pitch that they weren't busting their gut to get back to tackle. To make that tackle. They weren't too bothered. You weren't seeing Salah tracking back. You weren't seeing anything. Nothing was going. They were like, oh, whatever, just lose 3-0. And that's not what Liverpool have been over the last few years, at least.
Yeah.
We're going back to the 1990s. I mean, that's what we're doing at the moment with Liverpool. But look, it's going to take a while. As I said, it's a bit like what a problem Man United have. We have too many old guards there that don't want to believe in the philosophy. It's a bit like with Arne Slot, that a lot of those players probably don't like him really. This is life. This is nature. This is modern day football. He's a very unlikable character for me. Yeah. I mean, even me as a Man United fan, I like Jurgen Klopp. Yeah. I thought he was charismatic. He was like this. It's a bit like when Jose Mourinho was managing Chelsea. Yeah. I liked Jose Mourinho. He was fun. He was, it was a cinema to watch him. And I like Jurgen Klopp. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with Jurgen Klopp, but Arne Slot, he just comes across as dismissive and a little bit full of himself. And I just feel like it's not going to be said, but I just don't feel like the players are playing for him. Really, I honestly feel that. I think some of them are, and some of them are not, and that's why you can get results against Real Madrid, and win against Real Madrid, but lose against Man City comfortably.
The worst part of it is when the leadership doesn't play for you anymore. You know what I mean? And that's why I see, like you talked about Van Dijk and Salah. They don't look like they're interested when I watch them. But there's a question for you, Sal. Ronaldo or Salah, who has the better Premier League legacy?
I'm a Man United fan, isn't it? You know what I mean? What do you want me to say? He won the league. He won the triple league titles with Man United. He won the Ballon d'Or with Man United. He won the Champions League with Man United. He won 40 cups or something like that. I mean, at the end of the day, look, in regards to Salah, I think in the modern day, and people forget that Ronaldo played on the right wing. You know,
Yeah,
he didn't play as a front three. You know, I think that longevity. Obviously, Salah's been at Liverpool a long time. He's a great player. He's a legendary player, and should have won the Ballon d'Or for me.
Yeah.
I think it's scandalous he didn't, but I think just Ronaldo edges it because of his. He won the three-peat. He won the
Ballon d'Or,
the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or, the Champions League and league title in one season as well. And he scored 40 goals from the wing. You know, not 4-3-3, 4-4-2. You know, and he was fantastic. But of course, you know, Ronaldo is one of the greatest players of all time. Anyway, you know, he's done it at Real Madrid. He's done it at loads of teams. You know. At the end of the day, it gets a little bit under.
You know what I mean? That's how it is. You're a Man United fan. You're 100% spot on. Yeah, but if you ask me, like, I'm gonna say Salah because you know I've never seen a right winger score a striker's rate in my life. You know what I mean? Like as much as Salah has, and he still continues with that stuff. So I got to give him credit for that. If I was from the outside, I'll probably still give it to Salah because of the amount of goals. He's been consistent. You know, that's the thing with Salah. He's always been consistent since he's joined Liverpool. He's always over 20 goals a season. He never goes below that. And at this age, still going, if you know what I mean, Sal. So that's why I edge Salah on that one. But
when he gets to 40, let's see where he is.
But yeah, that's another thing as well. Sal, obviously I put your description on the of your channel. So what else do you go to other channels, or is it just your channel that you do?
I'm on. Obviously, I'm on Judge Mo's
channel. Regular on other channels. I know you go.
Yeah, I'm regular on other channels. Yeah, but I'm generally on Stretford Post, my channel, every morning, 7 a.m. UK. Yeah. With Breaking Dawn, and in the afternoon Chatterbox, which is 4 p.m. UK. Most days, not every day, most days for Chatterbox, and I do all the watch-alongs. But yeah, you can catch me on other channels like Judge Mo, Hussam sometimes maybe.
Yeah, we're going to be on there later on. I don't know why. Be on there later on. Yeah, I'm 7th, man. What am I doing? I'm 8th. I'm 8th, not 7th, 8th. What am I doing on the channel, man? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate for giving me your time, man. I hope you enjoyed it. And I mean, I haven't done chat shows on a regular for a while. I've been doing it in the last couple of days. Yeah, it's not new to me, but it's back, being back on it. So yeah, appreciate you, brother.
No problem at all, man.
Guys, like, share, and subscribe, and catch us on Judge Mo's channel later on. We're gonna be there later. Me and Sal. We're gonna discuss Liverpool and Man United on there as well. So yeah, take care, everybody.